So what I want you to understand is that this module is very demanding, and according to me, it was not supposed to be done in a semester because there's a lot of work that needs to be done. So I would also kindly ask those who have activated their videos to switch it off, as well as to unmute our mics so that each and everyone get to hear what I'm talking about. So I've realized that this module is very demanding, and if you don't pay attention or if you don't use your time wisely, it's going to affect you, especially these two assessments. This one, which is assessment number 2, and also the portfolio, these two. So my advice is, don't ever make a mistake of skipping one of them. Try by all means to, if it is assignment number 2, try by all means to submit what you have written. It's better. They say half a loaf is better than nothing. So I would advise you to, even if, because it's a timed exam, which starts at 12 and ends at 3. So you have got 3 hours to do this assessment. So as we are going through this, you begin to see which questions. Normally there are 4 questions. Number 1, it covers functions and also the formulas in Excel. Then number 2 is about graphs. Number 3, it's about macro. And number 4, it's about VBA. So whilst you are studying, you get to understand that maybe question 1 and 3 are your easiest. You can start with those ones. Then you can go back to the ones that are a bit difficult. But if you stick around, I will teach you the techniques on how you can tackle both the assignment number 2 and assignment number 6 without difficulties. I also believe that we've got some who did this module last semester and they didn't make it. And it's also a second chance to make it right. And believe me, it's not as difficult as you think. But if you stick to what I'm teaching you, you will be able to get everything correct. And even assessment number 1, all these ones, I can even show you how you can score them, score the maximum marks without any challenges so that you can capitalize on your assessment. And most people that I've assisted last semester, most of them, they've got distinctions. So if they made it, why can't you also? So if somebody else has done it, it means it's also possible that you can do it. Okay. So instead of focusing on the theory, so I just said, let me do the practical part, because since you can see that 16 September is when your assignment is due, a special assignment number 2, which carries more marks. So what I've structured, the way I've structured these assessments is these lessons is that I will focus more on the practical side, and the theory part, I will show you how you can tackle it as time goes on. But as of now, we want to focus especially on assignment number 2, because you see that there is a little gap between the dates. So, and I can tell you, you will not be able to finish everything within this period from 3 until 16, which is 13 days. And remember also you have got other modules that you need to focus on. So it won't be possible for you to achieve everything within the 1 week period. So, and also our lessons, they are structured. Today we are going to do the double lessons because remember we promised that we are going to give you 4 free lessons. So what I will be focusing on today is how to tackle question number 1 for assignment number 2. So I will show you all the formulas and also the functions that you need to know, so that even when you go back after this video, when you go back to the assessment, whether you take the one for 2023, 2024, or even the one that was written last semester this year, you will be able to do it without difficulties. And especially question number 1 is the one that carries more marks than any other assessments. So take note of that. All right, enough of the talking. Let's go to the practical side. And I believe all of you have got laptops. So if you don't have a laptop, find someone that you can ask before the assessment is open, because you require the laptop. You'll be in need of it. Okay, so here we are. By the way, I started just talking without introducing myself. My name is Ronald Manyump. So any question that you have, you can also inbox me. I will be able to assist. Even those who were doing this module last semester, when they were practicing, I can attend to your question when you have any challenge. So don't be hesitant to say, maybe you won't be answering my calls or you won't be answering my text messages. Don't worry, I'm there for you, okay? So let's get into business. And I believe we are going to finish everything. This PDF, we have to finish it today. Then next week, then we'll attempt the question so that you will see what we've covered and how you can apply it when it's an assessment. All right. Okay. Now let's do. So, like what I said, there are 2 parts, especially when you want to answer assignment number 2, question number 1. There are 2 parts. There are formulas as well as functions. There are formulas and functions. Okay. And I believe most of you are now familiar with AI, with Excel, because most of what we are going to be dealing with is something that you might have learned in AIN 1501. Okay. All right. So now, and always remember that when you are writing a formula in Excel, you need to have an equal sign. You start with an equal sign. Whether you are writing a function, you are writing a formula, you start with an equal sign. And most of you, I believe you are aware of this. And mostly these are the errors that you find. This one, it means this error occurs when the formula calls for division by a cell that either contains the value 0, or as is more often the case, is empty. So division by 0 is not possible mathematically, so you get this error. Then this error, it does not recognize text in a formula. Okay, so you might have written a formula or typed a formula, but it doesn't recognize the text in a formula, so you get this error. Then the hash now, is when you insert a space where you should have used a comma to separate cell references used as arguments for function. So you get this error. Then the num, normally that's when a wrong type of argument or a calculation that produces a number too large or too small to be represented in the worksheet. So you get this error. Okay. Then the ref, this one is when Excel encounters an invalid cell reference, such as when you delete a cell referred to in a formula or paste cells over cells referred to in a formula. So I think these ones, they are straightforward. Then the value, hash value, the wrong type of operator, or when you try to do a mathematical operations that refers to cells containing text entries. So it's impossible. Then hash n/a, this error occurs when a value is not available to a function or a formula. So take note of these errors. But normally, if you pay attention to what we are going to do, you will not find these errors. Okay, you will not find these errors. So I also encourage you, most probably whilst I am doing, you can also do, but we also have a recording. After we are done with this lesson, you will be able to access as well the recordings as well. Okay, so now here is the thing. Entering formulas, maybe you want to add, subtract, divide, or multiply. So already I have my Excel here. I have also included these numbers, 120. So you can rename worksheet sheet 1 as practice. So if you want to rename the sheet below here, once you start your Excel, you'll find out here that it will be written sheet 1. So you just right click here, then you click on rename, then you can write the name as practice like this. Okay. Now, what do we need to do? It says add the two values together in cell A3. All right. So what we want to do is, let's say add, then subtract, then multiply, and division. Okay. Please, if you have got any question, you can ask before we proceed. So when you are adding, so remember we said a formula is start with an equal sign. So equals, then you click this first cell, then plus, then you click the second one. Okay, then you press enter. So then it will give you the answer for the addition. Okay. Then for subtraction, it's the same thing, equals this, then minus this one, then enter, you get 80. Then multiplying, remember you're starting with an equal sign. You click this, then the one that looks like a star is the one that represents a multiplication on your keyboard, times this, then enter. Okay. Then equals, when we are dividing this, then it's the backward slash, this one. Yes, it's the one that represents division. Then you click on this one, then you press enter. So as you can see, that's how you perform. Oh, sorry. Thank you for that. So this is how you do addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So these are the formulas. Okay. Now, you can also be asked to add values in two separate worksheets. Okay, so have another worksheet and you type these numbers and call it a test. So as you can see, here is my other sheet. So let's bring back again, add, subtract, multiplication. Let me say multiply, then division. Okay. So the procedure is the same, is equal to, then I come here, I click this, then plus this one again, plus plus, okay. Then, so you can see that what it starts with is the name of that workbook or that sheet, which is what practice. Then the exclamation mark, then the cell reference, which is A1, plus again the practice, then this one also the test 1, test 2. Then if you press enter, then it will give you the total. Same applies. Maybe I want this larger number minus this larger number here. Then I press enter. So 200 minus 100, it will give me that. So as you can see, as long as you are referencing another worksheet, it will then write the name of that worksheet. Same applies if I want to multiply this times this one multiplied by this one, then it will give you that. Oh, somebody's saying I'm moving fast. Want to work with time, but I'll try to be slow. It's just that the reason why I had to write these numbers is because I didn't want to waste much of the time typing, because it was going to take most of our time. Then division again. The addition. All right. What you can do with the addition equals, you can even start with this one. This, there is no need for you to reference this test because everything is done on the test worksheet. Okay. But the moment I then move to the other worksheet, then it will write the name of that worksheet. Okay. Add again this. Then if I press enter, it still gives me the same. So if I come here and I do this, um, all right, then let me do this. You see the difference. Though here we have got practice A1, practice A2. Here we also have practice A1, practice A2. But here it says test A1, test A2. Here is just A1 plus A2. That's what I was trying to say, that remember, the if you move back to and fro from one worksheet to another, it will print out the name of that worksheet. Because remember, that time I started with practice. Now I then come back to this test worksheet. Then that's why it had to put it like this. But one way or the other, the results will always be the same. So what you just need to be careful of is to ensure that you are referencing the correct worksheet. Okay. All right. I think on this one we are cool and we are sorted. This is it. Now, there are instances where you are supposed to combine a number and a text. Okay. So there are moments whereby you want to combine a number and a text. Normally, they ask these questions, especially in your assignment. So you need to know how you can combine, or how you can join a text and a number or a value. Okay. So there are two. Normally, if you want to join, you use this sign. It's called an ampersand. Some, when they are reading it, they call it an and. Okay. So as you can see, 2000 and 100, it will give you 2000, then 100, the next number. Then okay, if you want to increase the column, look what I did. If I hover my mouse here, there is a cross-like cursor that appear. Remember, there is this thick cross, but if I come here on top here, then you left click, then you can drag to your right and it will increase the column. Okay. Even if you want to reduce, you do the same. All right. Then if you want to put a space between the numbers, you can just put and then you just put the quotes but without anything inside. It will create a space. All right. Then if you want to put a hyphen like this, remember what you need to take note of is this and or this ampersand is the one that is used to join. Okay. So rename worksheet sheet number 3 as add. Okay, so here we are. I have got my sheet here. It's called add, right? And now you have to type this and put it in there. Okay. So the formula that we want to write is we want A1 and ampersand B1, or A1 and B1. So remember our formula, we have to use equal sign. Equals, then I click this one, then I will put the end, then I'll click the second one and press enter. So you see, you are just joining Nissan hard body. So there is no gap in between. It's just Nissan hard body. Okay. Same applies A2 and B2 equals A. So a question might ask you to join maybe to create a code, a product code. So you then need to know how you can join. So take note that you need to use the what? The AND, this one, when you are joining. Either a number to a text or a number to another number. Then if I press enter, then 1985-12. Okay. Then if I now want to put a space in between, so what I will do is I will say equals, then I click, then I'll put my end, right? Then open, right? Then I click space bar, then close the close the quote. Then I'll press again enter, end, and then I'll press the other one. So you see how it appears. Then if I press enter, then there is a space. Which formula do you want to? You can unmute your mic and speak to me. What is it that you want to use the mouse for? Here it is. You see, equals. I selected my A3 here. Then I put the ampersand. Then I open the quotation mark. Then space bar. Then close the quote. Ampersand. Then I select Corolla. Then if you press enter, then it will give you this. Okay. Then the other one, we want to put the hyphen. So equals A3, A4, then ampersand, then the quote, then the hyphen, close the quote, then ampersand, then I will click this one. So when you are joining, remember, look, here we have got the end or the ampersand. On the other side also we have got the end and the ampersand. So don't make a mistake of putting only the ampersand here and leaving this end, this ampersand after. Then if press enter, then it will say Ford hyphen 200. You get it? Then they want us here to insert a space C3 and C5. Okay. So they want it to be written as 1981 model. Okay. Now here we only have 81. So what do you think we're gonna do, guys? I want to see if you are paying attention. What do you think we're gonna do?
We will say 81 and model, and then it's going to come like that.
We want 91. Is it 91? It's what? 19.
It's 81 there.
Yeah, we have 81, but we want 1981. You get it? We want 1981, then space model. So what do we do? Since
Then we
we
will do it. Then we will put 1981 on A5, and then we'll just say end model, and then it's going to go there as 1981 model.
no, remember.
I think, sorry, sir. I think
Yes.
we're going
No,
to say,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we're going to say equals 19 and A5. And do you want space or not?
We also want the space.
Okay, and ampersand space ampersand and B5.
Hey, you left the quotes.
She left the quotes before.
Yes.
Yes. And
Like, then we go on the
B5.
model. Yes.
B5.
Yes.
Then you see. So take note of that. You'll see that even when you are practicing like question number 1, you'll see this they love to ask these questions whereby they will be like, can you create a code for this product using probably the initials, the initial name of the product, the number, or I don't know, maybe it might be the year number or the last year number digit or whatever that they might ask. So take note of that. So I also want to encourage you, even when you are rewatching this video, I want you to write your own notes that can assist you, okay, that can assist you when you are revising, so that you quickly get the concept. Okay. All right, on this one we are done. Now there is remember in Excel, I think most of you have done it, whereby you write, maybe you've got a lot of data information, maybe numbers here, and you just write a formula here, then you can drag down down and everything will be populated. So this is what is known as relative reference. So where the column and row reference of a cell reference in a formula changes when copied down and or across, the cell address is referred to as being a relative reference. Okay. So we want to copy down the formula. Okay. So you write your formula here, then you can go down, you just drag it down, and everything here will be populated. All right. For instance, we have got this data. Okay. We have got this data. So I believe this is the data that we have. It's relative. So I also did this so that you will be able to know where are we. So this is relative reference and we are doing a copy down. Okay. So now we want the total. So how do we find the total here? From what we have learned so far, what do we do? Anyone need to
equal to,
contribute?
it's equal to B4 plus C4.
Right. So this is our formula, nah? So what I would then do is, instead of coming again and write my equal sign, then I'll say B5 plus C5. I'll just click on this where I wrote my formula. So you see my cursor here is a plus. So I'll go just slightly close to in between, just lower right. There, the sign, the plus sign will change. Then I'll left click, then I'll drag down. Then it means everything also is populated. So if I do this, it will be B5 plus C5. If I click this one, B6 plus C6. If I do this, B7 plus C7.
But the total price would be a multiplication, right?
No, the
No.
total is the addition.
It's a price per item. Number of items, price per item, total price.
Oh yeah, you are right. It's supposed to be a multiplication. You are right. Yeah, number of item, price per item. So we have to multiply. Yeah, you are right. So we just need to fix here, and we just use the multiplication sign, enter, then you can drag down like this. Yeah, you are right. Thanks for the observation. Yeah, what I have is already in your portal, unless they have changed the PDF. It's already in your portal. All right. So here we are. So this is copy down. You are copying down. Okay. Then copy across. We have got copying across. You are just moving from left to right. Okay. So we have got this data. All right. So this is my data here. So relative reference, copy across. So here, how then do we find the total here?
You drag down the formula from B5 down.
Is equal to
B4 plus B5, then enter.
B5, enter. Right. So you click on here, then when the cursor changes, you drag like this. Then it can also populate the totals. So I think these ones, they are straightforward. You just need to get the formula, the first formula right. Then you drag down, you drag across. Okay. Then there are instances where you're supposed to copy across and then down. All right. So we have this information. All right. We have got this information. We have got number sold. Then these are the shoes. These are the products. Then the selling price per item. And also then the months. Then now what we want is the total sales per item. Okay. So I have that. I did it already. So now for the shoes, how do we find the total sales per item? Already we've got the table for number of items sold. Then we have also the selling price. Yes.
B4 times
B4
times
B10.
B10. Then enter. So now I come here, then I will go down like this. Then it gives me for the other one. Then I also come here again, then I go across, then it gives me for this. So if I do this, it's, you see, C4 times C10. Then I can then drag again down like this. So I think, so you just need to take note of, you ask yourself questions like, so which formula am I supposed to use? Or which function am I supposed to use? That's all you need. Okay. Let's go. Now, there is what is known as absolute reference. Absolute reference. So this one, I want you to pay attention, especially to absolute reference, because if you are to check your questions for the assignment number 2, normally they will say use absolute reference where it is necessary. For instance, if you are supposed, because according to this, we have got 3 types of absolute references that we have. Okay, so the first one is absolute row reference. So what it simply means is you have to insert the $ in front of the row reference only. So remember, what we are calling a cell, what we call a cell is a combination of a column and a row like this. That's how it is. So on your Excel sheet like this. So we are saying this one is a cell because there is a row, there is a column, and there is a row. So normally you start with the column and then the row. So when we are saying B5, cell B5, what we are saying column B, row number 5. That's what we are saying. Okay. So if it's absolute row reference, what you want is just to put only the $ on front of the row only. So in this case, this one is a B is a column, then 5 is a row. So if you put a $ in between or on front of the row, what you are simply saying, you are saying is called an absolute row reference. So when copied, only the column reference B will change because the row reference is fixed. It will not change. So when we are talking about absolute reference, what we are simply saying is there is a cell that we don't want to, no matter how we drag our formula, it is not supposed to change. Okay, so in this case, we want the row number 5 to remain as it is, but any other columns apart from that, they can change. You can use this one. Then absolute column reference, you are just inserting the $ in front of the column reference only. For example, remember we said B is the column. So on front, it means you want the column to remain as it is, but even the rows, even if they change, it doesn't matter. Okay. So take note of that. Then there is absolute column and row reference. So you insert the $ in front of both the column and row reference. For example, this one. So your assignment now, when it comes, it asks you it will say don't even use absolute reference where it's not required. Like for instance, this where we did what we did here, you cannot use absolute reference because it's not required. We dragged everything nice and easy and we got our answers. So take note of that. Take note of that. All right. So there are two ways in which you are going to insert the $ on front of your cells, okay? One, you can just type, like for instance here, let's say I want to make this one, the column, to be an absolute reference. I can just put my $ like this. Then still it will be okay. Okay. Or there are times whereby you can highlight B10, then you press F4 on your keyboard. Okay, so two options. You can highlight the cell that you want to be an absolute reference. Then you can press F4 on your keyboard. Then automatically it will do this. It's clear, né? If it is only this part, then F4. F4 normally, if you press F4, normally it caters for both the cells. But if you want to do it individually, then you have to type it, okay? Like this, $. F4 is mainly for the entire cell. Okay. All right. Now, absolute row reference. Absolute row reference. Okay. All right. So here we are. So I want to show you what happens if you don't put your absolute reference. So you see, we have got this part, we have got VAT rate, which is 14%. And we've got sales excluding VAT, which is here. Okay. Now, so how do we find sales including VAT? I believe you have done this. How do we find sales including VAT? Any to contribute? Anyone to contribute? Hello?
I think it's going to equal to B7 plus
B7 plus
open brackets B7 multiplied by B4.
By B4. Okay. Like this.
Close bracket.
All right. That's it. So because what we did, we break it down. We said because we want sales including VAT, number one, we want the actual sales, which is 1.5. Then we want to know the VAT. What is the VAT? It's obtained by 1.5 times 0.14. The answer that we are going to get, we add it here. So that's how we come up with this. Okay. So now, what I was saying is, if we do this now, right? If you do this, if you drag like this, you see what happened. So if we come here, we are seeing that B8 is correct. But since we are dragging down, what we don't want the row to change. Okay? We don't want the row to change. Remember, we are referencing this cell. So we don't want this row to change as we drag our formula down. So as you can see, if we drag our formula down, it's now saying B5 instead of B what? Instead of B4. So now that's why we need to know which absolute reference are we supposed to use. Okay? Same applies here. You see, this one is now on B6. This one also. So it's continue to go down. So in order now to avoid that, we come back to our formula. Okay. So to avoid that, we come back to our formula. So we ask ourselves, so which absolute reference are we supposed to use? Since now we want to make sure that the row will remain unchanged, we come in between B4 here and put a $sign. Enter. So now if I drag down, my formula is working perfect. Got it? Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
You see where we need the so it's your duty now to know, even when a question comes, it's a duty, it's now your responsibility to know, am I using the row reference, absolute row reference, or a column reference, or I'm using both the absolute reference for both the row and the column. All right, let's move on. Imagine we are summarizing all this stuff in one video. Sometimes it's very tedious to go through this thing because, hey, now we are summarizing all these 56 pages on one video. Okay. Right. Here is our activity 4.8. The concept is the same. We are multiplying is equals to, we are saying this plus, then we open the bracket, B7 multiply by this, then we close. Now, remember now, we are going this direction. Right. So we are moving from left to right. Let's check what happened here. If I click here and do this, You see now that since I'm moving from left to right, it's a column. So this 14% is now being shifted, and the Excel is assuming that we are now referencing to what? To the next column. So for us to avoid that, we come back here to our formula. Then on B4, what we want to change are only the rows, but not the column. So we put the $sign on front of the column. Then we do this. So now if we come here, B4 is there, B4 is there, B4 is there, B4, B4. So that's how you do it. Okay.
Sorry, sir.
Yep.
You said if you want to change that, can you say that statement again? If you
Oh.
want to change the column,
All right.
that's when you, yes.
If you want to drag your formula, remember, all right, let me give an illustration with this one. Remember this one, what we did, we moved from left to right, ne? We did this.
Yes.
And we got,
Yes.
okay. Oh, it's because there are $signs that I had put. Let me just, all right. Okay, so one thing that you need to know, when you are moving from left to right, what is changing are the columns. Remember, our columns, they are numbered A, B, C, D, meaning to say we are coming from left to right. Those are the columns. So when you are moving now from top to bottom, what is changing are the rows.
Oh,
Yes. So now, with that in mind, if it's here, now, because we are, remember, this is a table on its own, and this one is a table on its own, right? So now, because we want something that is on this table, and how are we using our formula? We are saying we want to write a formula in in B8. We want to write our formula in B8, but this formula needs to be dragged to other columns. So meaning to say we are moving from left to right. So the question now you are asking yourself, if I'm moving from left to right, what is changing? Then you say, oh, these are columns that are going to change. So if columns are the ones that are going to change, now what is it that I must do for this column not to change? Because that's where your source of the calculation emanates from. So then you say, okay, I want to make an absolute column reference. So that's how you come up with this. Is it clear now?
yes, thank you.
All right. So instances whereby you want to drag down and also to the what? To the right, which is activity 4.9. This is absolute column and row reference. Okay. So remember, what gives you the clue is this one. If we were dealing with this table and this table, there was no issue. Okay? There was no issue. If we're dealing with this table and this one, let me just highlight this table and this one, there was no issue. There was no need for us to use absolute reference. But now, because we also have this one, this smaller nyana table, this one, now we are forced to use the absolute reference. Why? Because any calculation that we are going to do, we need to take note of this as well. Right. So here, our formula, this is cells including. All right. Cells. VAT. Okay, is equal to. All right. So now the concept is the same, equals. You can even start with the bracket, right? Then you say this one times this. You close the bracket, then plus this one, then you enter. It's one and the same thing. Okay. Now, because remember, if we do this, look what happens. And also, if I drag it down like this, just giving me this. And if I come here and I check, I'm seeing now that my VAT has moved to the other one. So this is what you can also do, even maybe you forgot that you are going to use the absolute reference. You drag your formulas like this, then you go to the second one, then you check if it's still highlighting the initial cell that the initial cells that you have used. Then you can say, oh no, I made a mistake here. Then you can fix that one. Same applies here. You can see, you come back, oh, my row has changed. But this one is correct, but my row has changed. So I need to fix. So what is it that I must fix? It's B4. B4, so you highlight everything, then you press F4. Then it becomes absolute reference. Now, if I drag like this, then it can give me the actual. Whether I want to use this or I want to use that, still it's going to give me the desired results. Any question? Or we are good so far?
We are good.
All right.
Good.
Sharp. So just take note of those things. That's all. Now we are moving on to functions. Okay, we are moving on to functions. So the functions, they should always be used if they are available, and a function is a shortcut to make calculation easier and quicker. Imagine you have got big data where you've got many many cells. Like for instance here, you've got 20 cells and you want to add them together. Equals A1 plus A2 plus A3. There might also be a typo error. So in order now to avoid that, you can now make use of what? The sum function. I know you know this one. The sum function is just a short to what? To say add. So it gives the range A1 to A20. So this can also eliminate what? Some errors when you are typing. So that's only the difference between the function and the formula, but they all work the same thing. But you can't even say, okay, I've got 2 cells, then you want to use the sum. Yes, you can use, but all right. So the structure is always the same. You have to begin with the equal sign, just like what you did with the formula. Okay. So sum, beginning, then the function name, opening parentheses, the arguments for the function, and so forth and so forth and so forth. All these are function. Payment, those who did financial mathematics or financial accounting, where you were asked to calculate the payment per month, monthly payment, or those who did DSC 1630 or BNU 1501 or QMI 1500, then you can also do this, and other modules that includes this. I think FAC also has got something like that. Then this one is a logical test if statement. Right. Okay. So there are instances whereby you can use the sum and you only highlight the cells that you need. Okay. This one doesn't matter. All right, let's start with the mathematical functions. 4.1. This one. So here, what we need to do is we want to find the total number of all t-shirts. We want only swimming, netball, and hockey. We only want rugby, swimming, cricket, hockey, and athletics. So, like what we said, the total number is equals to sum. So what I want you to pay attention is this. Right. Oh, it's not coming. All right. I will show you. All right. So the number, so what you can do is, since we want to do the sum, you can just drag like this. Then it automatically say from B6 to B15. Then you close. Then you press enter. So this will be your total. Ne? Now you can also use the sum to do the individual. So the one that I wanted to highlight is this. So we want swimming, right? You click on the swimming. Now we want netball. So if you check here where it says sum number 1, mine is indicates using the what? The semicolon. This one. It's because of how my computer is set up. The decimal numbers are represented by a comma. But if your decimal number is represented by a full stop, then you'll find out that this one will be just a comma, this one. So don't be confused. I want to show you this. Let's say I put a comma here. What's the other one? Is netball. You see this error. So I'm saying this because somebody might encounter this error and will be like, so how then do I solve this? On the video, my tutor was using a semicolon, but I'm trying to use a semicolon. Now it's giving me this error. It's giving you this error because it's the wrong format that you are using. You are using either a semicolon where you were supposed to use a comma, or you are using a comma where you are supposed to use a semicolon. Agreed, and take note of that. Okay. So to fix that, I'll just use my semicolon. Then I need netball. Netball is here. And the hockey, it's here. Then I will do this, enter. Then this is the total. So I believe I have answered somebody who might have been disturbed to say why my formula is not working. All right, sum again. Then rugby, swimming, and cricket. This is the three. Then I can do this again. Then the last two is hockey and athletics. Hockey and athletics. So you can also do it like this. Then still you get your answers. Okay. I think the sum function is straightforward. I also gave you, you can look at the top left corner here. You'll see what function are we dealing with. Okay. Then we have also a function called round. Round. Right. There are two ways that you're gonna use the round. Okay. So the first one is now you're asked the number of t-shirts divided by 3. So what you are simply doing is equal to, but I think they gave us the t-shirts that we need to round on. So round soccer t-shirts. So we go back to the soccer t-shirts. So number of t-shirts divided by 3 is equal to this one. Remember, divided is this / by 3. Enter. Okay. The next one is swimming t-shirt equals divided by 3. The other one is basketball t-shirt equals then divided by 3. Then
Table tennis.
Table tennis, yes, is equals to this divided by 3. All right. So I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So the first one we are told to round. So never make a mistake whereby when you want to round, you use these ones, especially when you are attempting the question 1 for assignment number 2. So what you then need to do is equals round. Then you open. So which number do you want to round? Is this one. Then how many number of digits do you want to use? 1. Then you close. So 41.7 to 1 decimal place. Same applies here, round. I think using round, then here is 2. It's simple. Equals round. Then 3. Then equals round. Then 4. Here we go. So you see, soccer. So instead of doing it like this, because sometimes when they are giving you the questions, they might not want you to create additional columns like this to say maybe you divide by number of t. They can just tell you that the final answer must be rounded to maybe 2 decimal places or 1 decimal place. So what you then need to do is you are allowed to say is equal to, ne? Then you say round. Then you open the bracket. Then once you open the bracket, you open another one. This one divided by 3. You close. Then you see the moment you put this one, it then indicates now how many digits do you want? It's 1. Then you close. Enter. So you see the 41.7 is the same as this one that we got here. So you can use a function, you can use multiple function, nested functions, whereby you start with this function, then inside that function you also use either a formula or another function inside there. Like this one, like for instance, maybe I want to, all right, what can I do? All right, let's say I want to find the, all right, let's do this is equal to, all right, then we say round. Okay, then you open the bracket. So the moment you open the second bracket, now it indicates that it's a number that you want to use. So I say sum. You get it? Then remember the sum function must also, I need to, you see, now it's like it forgot about the round, right? Now we are dealing with the sum. So the sum, maybe I want from here to here, okay? Then for the sum, I am done. I will close for the sum. But whilst I am there, how many numbers are there? 2, 4. All right. So divide by 4, right? Then I'll close this. Now I'll put how many digits do I want, or decimal digits. Then I'll say 2. Then enter. You see what happened? So I have used the round function. I have used the sum function. I have nested the sum function inside the round function. So don't be confused Maybe the question will come in that way and it will ask you to round off. Then you'll be like, so I have to start by doing the sum. Then after I'm done with the sum, then I will then have to round off. You can just do everything at once like this. Okay. Yeah, I think on that one we are done. We are done. Then we've got statistical functions whereby you'll be asked to find the average. 414. Here we are. Now, average. For average function, you just use the average function name. Then for all, you can just drag like this, then enter. Then it gives you the average. Okay. Then equals average. We want the swimming, the netball, and the hockey. We close, we get this. Right, you see? So if I want to round off this one now, this one, if I want to round maybe to 1 decimal place, then I will then say round. Then I'll open like this. Then I'll say maybe to 2. Then I'll close, then enter. So then I can get this. So this one, I use the round and I also use the average. Okay. This goes to average. Rugby, swimming, cricket. Then hockey, athletics. Here we go. It's clear, ne? Are we
Yes,
still?
sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes,
All,
sir.
all right, sharp. Now, so there are moments whereby they also ask you what is the maximum value maybe for a specific data that you are given, or what will be the minimum. So you just use max. That's all that you need. So here we are. All t-shirts is equals to max. Then we can drag. Then so the maximum is 125. Even by just scanning through, you can see that the larger number is 25. Then equals max. Then swimming, netball, and hockey. For the highlighted, you can tell it's 65. Equals max. So what I can encourage you is to maximize, to practice. Don't be tiresome when it comes to practice. Then that's it. Get it. Then the minimum, it will give you the minimum value. It will give you the minimum value. it will give you the minimum value. Right. So you use min. So these basics, they are important because next year you'll be doing AIN 3701 and you still need these basics. So, and normally when you are dealing with the dashboards, you ask those ones who are now in level 3. They will tell you, some I'm having a hard time with them because they tend to forget all these basics. So AIN 3701 is building on top of what you have learned in AIN 2601. Same applies. AIN 2601 is building on top of what you have learned in AIN 1501. So please make sure that you grasp the concept. Okay. Right. We are done with this one. That's all. Then the financial functions. I think last semester, did it came? I think it came. Yeah, this one came. The financial function, it came. But even some previous semesters, they also included it. All right. So these are the terms. You have got the rate, the interest rate used, the applicable number of payment periods, the payment or installment amount, the future value, the present value. Type 1, if the installment is paid at the beginning of the period, they call it what? Annuity due. Then type O, if the installment is paid at the end of the period, which is annuity certain. All right. So pay attention to the question or the scenario that you are given. They might say the installment is paid at the beginning, so you use type 1. If it says at the end, or probably it's silent, then you have to assume that it's what? End of the period. Okay. And also, since you'll be dealing with the months, mostly they will give you probably the years. So you have to convert the years to months. So you multiply the number of years by 12 because each year has got 12 what? 12 months. All right. So the question now is, you want to buy a car for 50,000. Right. So now you want to buy the car for 50,000. So it means that the present value of this car is what? Is 50,000. The bank can finance your car purchase at constant interest rate of 14%. Now you know that the rate is 14% or 0.14 per annum over 5 years. And now you know that the number of years is 5 years. All right. So coming here, so the car loan is 50,000. Then the interest rate per year is 14%. Then term in years is 5%. Now here we go. Equals, what are we looking for? We are looking for the payment per month. All right. So PMT, that's how you look for payment. That's the function for this. So PMT, you open the bracket. Now, What is the rate? The rate is this. Ne? Now, number per period. Remember we said you convert this to what? To months. So you then multiply by 12. Then the PV, which is this 50,000. Then the FV, you put 0. Then the type is the end of the period. So you put 0, then you close, then you enter. Wait. Payment per period. Okay. Is this correct? Oh,
Sorry,
the
say,
rate.
why
The
are
rate
we
is
putting 2 zeros?
okay. Let's come back. All right. All right. Let me do this. All right. So remember we are starting with the rate. Okay. So the rate is per year. I forgot that part. The rate is per year. I'm also answering the question that you also asked. Okay. All right. So the rate is 14%, but it's interest rate per year. So we want to know the monthly interest rate. Okay. So we divide by what? By 12. Then the N number of periods. So we say 5 times 12. Okay. Then the PV is this one. Right. Remember when you were using your financial calculator, you don't, the FV, if you are looking for maybe the payment when you are given the present value, you ignore the FV, isn't it? So in this case, because we have the present value, we don't have the future value. So we just indicate it as what? As 0. Okay. Then the type is end of the period. So we put 0 again. Then we close. Then this will be the what? The payment per month. And remember, it's a payment, so it's a cash outflow. That's why it's represented as a negative. So it's money that is coming out of your bank or your business or wherever it is to pay just this this loan for this amount for this car. All right. Are you answered?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Then the same example, you might also be now told to calculate beginning of the month. The same concept is there. It's equals to PMT, the rate divided by 12, then 5 times 12, PV, this one, FV is 0. Now it's beginning, so you put 1. So you just need to pay attention to whatever they will be asking. They might say beginning of the month or end of the month. So if it's beginning, you put a 1. If it's end of the month, then you put a 0. Then that will be the answer. I remember in one of the question papers, they said the payment must come out as a positive. Okay. They said, I think you'll find it. You'll see this when you go back and you try to find out. You'll see, it will say you must leave the payment as a positive. So what you simply do is like for this, for instance, if you are given, if it's like this, then you just multiply by what? -1. Then it will come up as a positive. But in this case, you were not told that it was supposed to be a positive. So you just leave it as it is. Okay. Future value, calculation of future value. The same concept, FV. So is equal to, then you want the FV. The rate is this one divided by 12. Then this one times 12 PMT, that's this one. And PV, there's no PV. So type 0, then enter. So this will be your future value. Okay. So what's needed is just for you to know the formulas. That's all. Equals PV, then the rate, same concept. This times 12. PMT is this one. Future value 0, type 0, then enter. That's your present value. Can you say this is difficult? You can't, ne?
With you, it's not.
Right. Now we are dealing with the logical functions. We are dealing with the logical functions. The logical functions. So this is the concept. You logical function if, then the logical test that you are testing, then what comes after the logical test is the value if it's true, else the value if false. Those who did programming, they call them if statements. So you are saying if A is true, then B is false. Simple as that. So here we are given a question and they say, you have invited a few friends and their children to a soccer match. The soccer tickets are 30 Rand per adult and 15 Rand per child. You also want to invite the persons 21 years and older to an after party. The cost of the after party is 100 Rand per person. You want to determine the following: the total cost and cost per person for the soccer tickets only, who you wish to invite to the after party, who you wish to invite to the after party, indicate with invite, and who you do not wish to invite, indicate with don't invite. The total cost and total cost per person, including the after party and the soccer tickets. So, note that all formulas will only be entered in the first cell and copied down to the following cells. Yes. Now we are back to what we have learned. All right. So this is it. So now, soccer ticket price. So we want to extract the price based on the adult. Okay? Right. So we are saying is equal to if. Now we want the logical test. If this one, which is B9, okay, is equal to, then adult. So one thing that I didn't also emphasize is when inside the function, you put the text inside the quotes and the number, you write it as it is. So we are saying if B9 is equal to the adult, what is the true value? The true value is that the price will be what? 30. But if it's false, the value will be what? 15. Then we close and enter. So you see what happened.
Yes, sir.
Right. So we are saying if B9 is equal to adult, you can also say equals if whatever this one is equal to, then child. Doesn't matter. Value for the child which is true is what? 15. But if it's not, then you get the 15. But remember now what I taught you. Now we want to drag our formula. Look what is happening. So, which part of our formula are we supposed to fix? Here. Which part of our formula are we supposed to fix to get it correct?
The B9.
What are we supposed to do with the B9?
Put the dollar sign.
Are you sure we must put the dollar sign on B9? Remember what I told you when you are looking at these things. I said you take this upper part as its own table. You also take this one as its own table, right? So now we are borrowing from this table. The price is here. So meaning, in other words, this table is not affected. What's going to be affected is the table that we are borrowing, which is this one. Am I clear?
Yes.
So,
Yes, sir.
so now the other question that you need to ask yourself, am I moving from top to bottom or left to right? What are you doing here?
Top to bottom.
Then if it's top to bottom, which part must I supposed to change on the formula?
Is it the row?
So we said it's the row, right? But which rows?
B4 and B5.
Oh,
Right. So here I put my dollar sign, and here I also put my dollar sign. So now let's see if what we did is correct. Here we go. Is it clear? Is it clear now? So don't be
Yes.
confused. Don't be confused with that, ne?
Can I ask?
Yes.
Okay, for other questions, ne, you put the dollar sign before the B, and then for other questions, you put the dollar sign in the middle. Can you please explain that a bit?
All right. Here, remember I said, you see this one, this thing.
Yes.
What do you call this one?
The cell.
All right, it's a cell. And how do you reference, or what's actually the name of this cell?
Is it F2?
So it's F2, ne? Right. And I said the F represents the column because the columns are the ones in letters A, B, C, D, E, F going forth. Right. Then the 2, it represents the row because this one is row number 1 and this one is row number 2. Okay. Now, I then said, if we are moving from top to bottom, when you are referencing maybe from other tables, when you are moving from top to bottom, you are going like this, down like this. It means what's going to change?
The rows.
Are the rows. So now, when I look at these two parts, the F is the column, the 2 is the row. So now, if I'm going to drag my formula down, it means what's going to be affected are the rows. So I don't want my rows to change. So what do? I come in the middle and I will put a dollar sign.
Okay.
Right. But when I am moving from left to right, so I know my columns, they move from left to right. So what I don't want to change, I don't want my column to change. So if I don't want my column to change, I will come and put my dollar sign on front of the column.
I understand. Thank you.
Yes. So that's what we did here. So the other, sorry?
I just saying my mistake with the dollar sign now. I see it. It's like you pay attention on what needs to change. For
Yes.
instance, before, if we were using the VAT was that it must stay fixed. Ne? It
Yes.
doesn't move, it doesn't change. But because of other amounts and other or other amounts where they only change. On this one, my mistake was that I see that when you do you say that it's columns. I don't want to mix it. But what I understand about it, it's something that changes that's different here. It's the prices, like I understand what you did here. So
Yeah.
that was my mistake. That
Yeah.
where the dollar sign needs to come.
So
Yeah.
these
What changes?
rows here, we want them to remain fixed.
Yes.
This one. So, like, because somebody might ask, why did we do that? Let's take, for example, we go back, right. Remember, before I dragged down before we put the dollar signs, ne? So let's check. Remember what I said, maybe you are not sure. You don't know where to put the dollar signs. You go on to the next one, right? If you come on the next one, check what happens. You see what is happening. My B5 is shifted and B6. If we go on to the next one, we are going down, meaning to say these ones are not fixed. You get it? Again, these ones are not fixed. So we want them to remain there. So in order to do that, that's where we put these dollar signs. Then we dragged and it gave us this. Then the other part again is that we were told that you also want to invite the persons 21 years and older to an after party. But there is also an illustration where it says, who you wish to invite to the after party, indicate with invite, and who you do not wish to invite, indicate with don't invite. Okay. So now we are going to use again the if statement, the if function. Now we are saying if the logical test, now we are checking on the edge because the ones that are going to be invited are the ones with 21 years and above, right? So we are now saying if this column, right, is greater than or equal to 21. Then what's the true value? Invite. And what's the false? Don't invite. Then, I didn't put the closing. Here we are. So now it compares and it checks, oh, this one is greater than 21. So this person is supposed to be invited. Now, look at the difference now. Because we are within this table, we are not taking from another table. We can just drag from here. And no issue. You get it? Now, total costs, soccer and after party. Total costs. So equals if. So the logical now it says this one is equal to what? To invite. Then what's the true what's the true value? The true value, we are saying if the person is, if we invite the person, it means we have to add the soccer ticket plus the after part. But else, we just want this only the soccer ticket. We close. You get it?
Yes.
Yes.
I want you to see again, if you drag, why do we have an issue? Yeah, why do we have an issue if we drag?
Because
We're supposed to have an absolute reference on the B6.
The D6, B6, okay. But for what? For absolute reference for what? Row or a column?
for the row.
So now we go in between and we put a dollar sign. Then we drag. Simple as that. Simple. You get it. So you see all these ones, don't invite. They remain at 15. We are not adding the after part. But the invite is 130 because we are adding 100 plus 30. That's it. So know how to use the if function. How do you apply it? How do you use it to achieve the intended results? They will not tell you to use if function. You are the one to spot it and say, okay, this one I must use the sum function. This one I must use the if function. This one. So you are the one to decide. Mr. Mike. Yeah, unmuting your mic and your background. There's a lot of noise. Okay, we are done with that one. So you see the logical test again. Here, where I said if C9 is greater than or equal to 21. So we are saying 21 is also what? Is also included. You can also say like this, less than. If C9 is less than 21, then you use don't what? Don't invite. The reason why I'm also giving you these options is so that even when you are writing it, there is no similarity in terms of what you are doing. So if I press enter, I'm still going to get the what? The invite. Why? Because if it's less than 21, don't invite. That's the true one. But if it's greater than 21 or greater or equal to 21, then invite. So it will give you the invite. So even if I drag like this, it will give you the same. Get it? Now, there are moments whereby they want you to count the number of whatever the data that they gave you. within a certain range. So you can use the count if. So you can use count. You can use count if. So this is how you use the count if. 422. Right. So here they want you to count the number of model A. So is equal to, then you write count if. The range is this one. Then the criteria you want what? Model A. So you are simply saying, I want you to count the number of model A in this range. Then enter. So 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You see. Then equals count if. The range, then the criteria we want. Remember, when you are putting a text in a formula, you put it inside the quotes. Don't forget that. Then the number of 2000. Count if the range is here. Then criteria 2007. Remember, a value, a number, you write as it is. You see? It's different from count. Count, you are just counting everything here. You see? From here, so 15 minus 3, that's 12. Same applies, you'll get the same results if you use count. You are just counting. But this one, the count if it... Yeah, where did I start? A4. So the count is used to count the numbers. It didn't count this. So that's the difference. But this one, count if, it gives you the flexibility even to count the number of texts that are appearing. Okay. Look, if we say count if, then the range, then we say model. Equals count if. Then we do this. It's not there because there is a space here, there is a space there. So that's why it's not even. So it helps you to identify the actual that you want. Okay. La 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 la. Now, you also need to be able to manipulate text as well. The text function. So we've got 3 types of text functions. We have got the left function. So the left function, it will return the characters of that particular function that you have. Like for instance, here, remember what I told you. They might say they want you to join 2. All right. I will demonstrate. So the left function, what it does is equal to, then you say left. So you're saying the text. So what's the text is this one. This one is the text that you want. Then how many number of characters would you want to retain from left? So let's say you say 3. So it will give you 3. So 1, 2, 3. So the fun is the one that is what? That is retained because you specified that. Now here is equals to left. This is the text. Then I want to retain 5 characters. Enter. So a space is also considered to be a character. So we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get it? So any space that is there is considered to be a character as well. So take note of that. So what I wanted to say is maybe 1987. Right. 1987. So sometimes they would want you to join 1987 with the first 3 characters of this. Anyone to try how we can do that? You have to put a hyphen in between. How can we do that? You want to have this word. Let me type here. This one. How do you do that? And you only have this. You are given this and this. Probably they are in a separate table. And you are given this. How will you achieve that? Hello? Are you still here?
You say
Mm-hmm.
you say it's equal to
Mm-hmm.
C7.
Mm-mm.
Left.
I said you have this one, not this one.
Oh,
Left. Uh-huh.
The text is C5.
Uh-huh.
Then 3.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they call it. That sign.
Uh-huh.
The inverted commas. I don't know if it's then the inverted commas
Mm-hmm.
and the hyphen, then you close.
Mm-hmm.
1987.
You left this one again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So let's see if we made it. You see. So this is what you need to take note of. Remember, I told you they'll say we want you to the maybe the code must have the year and the first 3 initials of of probably the name that is given. So now this is how you do it. Left, then you get your fun, and then the open close hyphen close, and then this one, then you get this. So you need to know them by heart. You need to know all these functions by heart. Okay, that's the reason why I had to do with you this, so that you know them by heart. You know them by heart. Okay. The next one is the mid function. The mid function is equals to mid. So you see, it's the same thing. So the mid, it helps you to start from anywhere within the word. You get it? So here, then start number. You want to start at which number? So I want to start at number 4. And how many characters do I want? I want 3. You see? So the mid function, it assists you to start from anywhere within. I can even have the fun using the what? The mid. Equals mid. Then the text. Where do I want to start? I want to start from 1. And how many? 3. So I still have the fun. So the mid has got the flexibility to start anywhere here. Anywhere. Same applies here, is equals to mid. This is the text. Then the start maybe from 3. And I need 4 characters. Here we see 1, 2, let's add the space, 3, 4. Straightforward, ne? Then the right, you're starting from the right to the left. So they might say the last what? They might say the last 3 initials, then combine them maybe with a number or something else. So now you know, right? Then the text, then 3. So it starts from here, 1, 2, 3, then it will populate that. Same applies with then 3 again. Why? Because we have got a space here. So a space is also considered to be a character. So you have this one. I believe these ones, they are straightforward. So you just need to know how you can use them. That's all. Now, this one, they love to always bring it, the VLOOKUP. You might even heard about the VLOOKUP. You might even heard about this. Then in AIN2601, we deal with the XLOOKUP. This one. But this one is their most favorite. They love to bring it. So there's what is known as the table array. Actually, this is the format. Lookup value. What is the value that you are looking for in another table? So you have got 2 tables, right? The first table has got the value that you are looking for in the another table, which is the second table. So you use the VLOOKUP to do that. Okay. So the lookup value is the value that you are looking for. It might be an ID, a student number. And remember, the student number is very unique. No two students will have the same student number. So you use that one. And the table array is actually the array, the table where the value that you are like the next table where you want to retrieve the value from. That's the table array. Then the column index is the column in that next table where you want to retrieve the information. Okay? You are not retrieving everything, but you want a specific column or where you can extract data from. Then the range lookup, you want to, if it is true, if it is an exact or approximate match is returned. Okay? Then false if it's the exact match. True, it can work both, but if you want the approximate value, maybe the number is within the range, you can use the true. But if you want the exact, you know that the value that you are looking for is the exact one, you use the false. That's all. All right, so here we are. I have this. So like what I said, remember, you have got this table and also this other table. Once you identify this, know that absolute value, absolute reference is going to be used because already you have got two tables. Okay. Now, here comes the question. So what we want is we want to extract the exam value, exam marks, and put them here on this table. That's what we want to do. So equals VLOOKUP. So what's the lookup value? So what can be a lookup value that we can use here?
Exam mark. Oh,
Sorry?
the value.
Student num.
Right. Because remember, the student number is the one that doesn't change in any of the tables. And look, here we start with Peter. And on the names, we have got Peter R. So you don't know exactly which name are you supposed to use. But if you use the student number, for instance, this one, so the lookup value that we want to look up in this table is the student number with this one, right? Then the table array, we are selecting from here until the end of the table. Okay? Now, in which column are the exam marks? So we've got column 1, 2, 3, so it's 3. Then, is it an approximate match or an exact match? It's an exact match. So we use false, then you press enter. So Peter is 45. So if we come here, Peter, 45. Now, another issue again, if I drag down, look what happens. So the question now is, which value am I supposed to make an absolute?
The A, yeah.
There?
It's the A6.
The stu-
A6 to A19.
You're saying A19,
A16 and A19.
A6, or you're saying A16?
A6 and A19.
Okay. And what am I going to put there?
You put the $ in the middle of A6 and A19.
Okay, let's see. $sign here. And I put a $sign there. Right. Let's drag. Now I'm getting only 45. So meaning to say
Something is wrong.
it was wrong. So let's go back. Let's highlight. Remember what I said.
27.
Sorry? Your line is breaking. Do we still have here? All right. Remember what I said. When you drag and you seal it like this, go to the second. Ne? Come here. Then do this. What happened? What has shifted?
The A7 and the A20 and the C28. Okay.
So which ones am I supposed to put as absolute reference?
A6,
19.
A19, C28.
Sorry? Right.
A6, A19, A27.
Okay. Let's try again. And this. Here we go. I'm still getting 45.
On A19 only.
Huh?
And
It's
to
supposed
lock
to
only
put
the
absolute
C27.
reference 19.
Remember what I did. I showed you here. Look, if we
Yeah,
come here,
and C27.
A19 and C27, ne?
Yes.
Remember the lookup value, guys. Remember, the lookup value is already within this table. So there is no need for you to put it as an absolute reference because it's already here. But what we want to make an absolute reference are outside this table, which is this range.
Okay.
So take note of that. Please remind yourself about that. So we change this. So if we drag, here we go. You get it? So VLOOKUP normally works with these ones. Either you are supposed to put a row absolute reference or a column absolute reference or both.
Sorry to disturb, sir, but I'm lost. Can you please explain again?
Where are you lost?
You said we are not putting the $ on A6 because
Because I'm saying because it's already within this table. We are not referencing it outside. So remember, the moment we put A6 here like this, we are saying, I want to show you. What we are simply saying is we don't want remember A6 is this one. We are saying, number one, we don't want A6 to change. That's what we are saying. Or we don't want A6 to change. So if I drag my formula down, it will just give me the answer for A6 because I have said I don't want the row number 6 to change. Of which when I'm dragging, I want row number 7 to get the marks here, row number 8 to get its own marks somewhere here, but matching with the student number. So now what I'm simply saying is I don't want this student number to change. So if I drag down now, it will give me only the marks for that particular student, of which is not true. So hence, to avoid that, this A6, we are saying if after we found the marks for this student number, we want to move on to the next student number, which is this one. We also want to find the marks for that particular student number. So if we drag
Okay,
now,
so in simpler terms, you are saying A6 needs to change.
yes, it needs to change.
Okay, okay.
Because now if I check student 2345, 2345 is Sarah, 62, then I'll get this 62 marks. So in simple terms, the way I want you to remember this is that what must remain fixed are these ones. When you are using the VLOOKUP, when you are using the VLOOKUP, the table that you are extracting values from, it has to be fixed. Okay. We are extracting the exam marks on this table. So meaning to say everything must be fixed. But the question is, what is it that must remain fixed? Since we are dealing with the rows, so the rows must remain fixed. If we are dealing with columns, the columns are the one which must remain what? Fixed.
Fixed.
Yes. But if we are dealing with everything, we want everything, the columns and the rows. So all those must remain fixed. But it must not affect our table where the data is being posted to. Okay. So VLOOKUP, the table you are extracting the values must remain fixed. But now the question that you have to ask yourself, is it a row or a column absolute reference? That's all I can say.
Thank you.
You're welcome. This one I explained better. All right. Now there are instances where, all right, let's go to the next one. Yeah, anyone can try. We want to extract the fixed text amount and the text rate from this table. So what do we do? Hello? What do we do?
Sorry, sir. May you repeat the question, please?
The question is, we want to extract the fixed text amount. These ones, remember, we've got this table. All right? It's like this. Then I think this one needs to be matched. Yeah. So you get it. We have got taxable income. You see it here. and we've got the fixed tax amount. So taxable income is all this. Fixed tax amount is this. Then the tax rate is this. Okay. So now the question is, we want to extract the fixed tax amount from this table to this one. Also the tax rate from this table to this one. How do we achieve that? Guys, it's something that I've been teaching you. VLOOKUP. What's the lookup value? Obviously, from this table. Remember, the lookup value, you find it from the current table that you are in. So this is the one, ne? Table array from here to there. Okay. Then the column. So fixed tax amount is in which column? 1, 2, 3, the third column. And is it an exact match or an approximate match?
Exact.
It's not an exact because the taxable income is what? Is in ranges. Lower bracket, upper bracket. So you use true. Then enter. So the question is 358,000 is in which range? If we are to check 358, it's between here and here. You get it? And what is the fixed tax amount? 75,250 is the one that we got here. You see? So know when to use the exact and the approximate. I said the exact you use when it's definite. When you know that the number is not changing or the number is just as it is in the other table, like student number. But you use the approximate, especially when you are dealing with the range. And from there, now, because I know that the absolute reference right. Let's do this again. Want to see why it's refusing? Absolute. So what changed? It's shifted. So what is changing? These are the rows. So I go back, I change. So here, my dollar sign I also put my dollar sign here. Enter. Then I can drag. Then I got this. What about the tax rate? What must we do?
Can I try?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, equal signs, VLOOKUP, and then the value is 75,250.
Where are you getting that? The lookup value.
The thingy. Okay, the value is, let me see. Okay, the taxable, let me see. Tax above. Okay, let's go to the taxable income B, and then the table A22. Yeah,
That one.
the table. And then the index number
4.
Okay. Draw or approximate.
approximate.
Get it. So 75 to 50 is 35%. So
Okay, can I ask? I got
yeah.
a bit lost by the value 4. Where did we get? How did we get the 4?
All right. What's the column? Remember? Right. So now it's saying the column index number. So what's the actual column where you are retrieving that tax rate in the other table?
Column. Okay.
So the column is 1, 2, 3, number 4.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Then obviously we change these two. But normally it will give you as a percentage, as a decimal if you drag like this. So you just come here. All right, it will give you like this. Ne? Normally when you do it, it will give you like this. So you can just go, highlight, then you click on the percentage. Then it will give you the percentages. So that's the entire thing. We are done to page 56. Here we are. So what more do you want? So do we have any question? Any question? So what I will do is in the group, I will send you maybe a question paper. Then you can try to do that one. And you polish up where you think you are still having some challenges. We are going to meet again next week, Saturday. So you also have ample time to practice. And also don't forget that you also have other modules, but try also to practice and see if what we have learned has ticked in there. Okay. So maybe I'll give you 2 question papers. Yeah, I'll give you 2 question papers so that next time when we come, we'll do those question papers. Me, I love asking people questions so that I know which area you still need some polishing up. But this is it. This is it. So any questions before we call it a day?